Now, we have a guest here.
We do.
You're about to introduce our guest. But you've had a pre-chat to him, but he's my guest.
I've had a pre-chat, but he's your guest.
Now, you're allowed to pre-chat to your sports guests, and you are, I suppose, allowed to pre-chat to my guest, but you've never pre-chatted to one of my guests before.
No, but one of your guests has never been your guest in order to try and help me before.
Cure you of a phobia. So what did you talk to him about beforehand?
We had a kind of initial
Consultation.
yes, phobia fight.
Phobia fight. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to meet the chap now. Then we're going to talk to him about what he does, where phobias come from, and what he may be able to do in the next 7 days, if you're up for it. I love this. 18 to 9, off you go, Vass.
So my big phobia, we've been discussing it this week after the appearance of, I can say it now, snakes in the new King Arthur film.
Right, hang on.
He's already done that.
How come? Because you've not been able to utter the word before for years. So, Never?
Well, pretty much never. I did close my brain to saying it a bit, which is
again.
not, I'm not
Say it again.
quite... Snakes.
Say it again.
Snakes. But I've closed my brain now.
This is already working. I don't think we need to hear from this guest.
You're not so much a guest today. Is a hypnotherapist who is helping me overcome these nightmares. Please welcome the sensational Stuart Brown.
All right. Good morning, Stu.
Morning, Chris.
So, just get a bit close to the microphone, if you don't mind. First of all, tell us where we think phobias might come from, how they may come about, how they may occur.
Phobias in general are something that we learn. We learn all our behaviours. So generally somebody will have experienced something and they will have learnt to be fearful of it, either through that experience, through a family member, through a parent, through TV. And then it starts to become more and more amplified, more and more focused, and people start to then veer away from it, and it starts to just affect their lives.
And is one of the issues the fact that we don't remember where it comes from, therefore we don't remember it was part of our lives?
Some people do remember where it comes from, depending how intense it is or how soon the memory was, but some people do remember. It is quite possible that people will never know where that phobia's come from. I've dealt with people in the past who've had a phobia of something they've never actually seen.
Isn't that weird?
And they've learnt that from a parent.
It's got anything to do with why we dream, because it's similar, isn't it? It's that subconscious going crazy.
It's all to do with the unconscious mind and the power of the unconscious mind being able to take over and influence what we do. The same as it influences what we do on a daily basis, It can influence some fears and phobias and anxieties and stress.
So what is your job? What do you do for a living?
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner and coach, and I've got the best job in the world. I get to change people before my eyes. I get to see them go from being really stressed to really happy and relaxed, and it is a fantastic experience to see people change in front of you.
So you've gone for the clinical hypnotherapy route. You've gone down that path. Could you have gone showbiz if you wanted to? Is it the same skill?
It's exactly the same skill. It's the same techniques.
So could you do a show if we wanted to? Could you?
Could you
Potentially, yes.
Could you make me stand up and say, the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming, get your knickers on your heads?
I could make you do something if you wanted to do it, Chris, yeah.
Yeah, I do most days anyway. Okay. Right, so how would you approach somebody with Vass's issue, his phobia, his snake phobia, which we can now say because already you've cured him of not being able to say it.
Absolutely.
By the way, high five for that.
Thank you very much.
Don't leave me hanging. Thank you.
That's okay. Vassos's phobia is quite intense. Having spoken to him for about 5-10 minutes outside, very, very intense phobia, quite deep-seated, quite embedded. So all we've done is been giving him the control to turn that phobia on and off and change some of the thoughts and feelings that go with it. And now he's in control enough that he can start to talk about it, and then we're going to work on it deeper and deeper and deeper so that eventually we can really get to it.
So how do you think that our guest today has helped you, Vassos? How come you think you can say the word snakes now?
Well, because, let's say, Stuart asked me, out of 10, where do I put this phobia of snakes? And I said 50, but I was pretty much underestimating it. And you will agree. I mean, that of all the phobias you've seen, me and snakes is right up there, isn't it?
You had a real extreme reaction when we were talking about it.
But Stuart did a little, a mental trick, which is making me, at one point he said, imagine them, which was blind panic. Mm-hmm. But then he said, just step back and imagine you're watching yourself panicking on a television screen. Which is quite clever, really,
right?
Because that's okay. You can watch yourself panicking on a television screen.
Right.
And so I've just taken a step back, and now I can say the word snakes. Don't get me wrong, we're not cured yet. If one came in the room, there'd still be a Vassal-shaped hole in the door.
But you're on the way, though. I mean,
yeah, I'm on the way.
That's the first step on the ladder, the first rung on the ladder. Is it similar to being on the cliff edge and looking over it and being frightened because you're so close to potentially falling off, and then not being so close because you stepped 10 yards backwards?
Absolutely. So fear of heights, for example, if people stand on a cliff edge, it's that tumbling feeling. They can feel their stomach starting to turn as if they're going forwards.
Yeah.
You turn it back in their mind and imagine that feeling's coming backwards. They can feel themselves winding back from the cliff edge, therefore they feel more comfortable, more relaxed.
And of course, the ultimate manifestation of that fear is it's so scary, you're almost tempted to jump just to get rid of the fear and get it over with.
Absolutely. And if you can turn that round, reframe it, change the way they think about it, you can start to wind them back. You feel more comfortable.
You're cool. Right. So, Vassos, how far, this is your choice, entirely your choice, how far would you like to take this?
I think, I mean, given that we had, 5-10 minutes chat, a 5-minute chat. Given that in 5 minutes I'm already a little better, I think you can do it. You think you can do it?
Absolutely.
So are you up for, in 7 days' time, coming back here... Anyway, because it's your job, so please do that first off. Otherwise, that would be rubbish. And I think I really like working with you, and I think you're very good. Are you up for you know what?
Yeah, I think so.
A week today.
I think so.
So okay. So if we bring you know what in next Thursday, and also Stuart thinks you're ready for it, of course. And this has got to be all properly done.
Yeah.
So you're
assuming Stuart reckons I'm ready. I'm ready.
How good
You'll
is
be ready.
this? Got hairs in the back of my neck standing. I mean, got hairs anyway, but they're standing up to attention now, like never before. You're up for this, Stuart?
Absolutely.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Out of 10, what are your chances? How do you rate your chances? Don't want to put too much pressure on you.
High.
So
9 out of 10.
8, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. It's never a sure thing. It's never a done deal.
No, and as I said to Vassos earlier, there still has to be a healthy fear of snakes.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be in a position where potentially they are something that you don't like.
And bizarrely, he's not told you this. Well, he may have done, but I'm guessing he hasn't. Because he runs through grass a lot. You do run the risk of meeting a snake every day of your life.
Don't say that. I never thought of it like that.
But it's true, especially where we live, because you live sort of in the same bit of the country as I do.
There's snakes in barns.
There are loads of snakes in grass.
Yeah, potentially, but now you know Vassos how to turn it off.
Around where we live, there's loads of adders. And there are fields with signs near where I live saying, dangerous snakes, and they are really dangerous. And if they bite you, if they bite you, they can swell to double the size, and you have to. Honestly, so it's very important.
Yes, it is then.
It's more important now than it was before.
Yes, it was.
Stuart, A, you're brilliant, B, you're brilliant, C, you're brilliant, D, you're brilliant, all the way through to Z. However, I've got to say, Stuart is wearing a T-shirt that says, hypnotist, I'm a hypnotist, look into my eyes. See, that's the bit I'm not sure about. Because Dr. Michael Mosley doesn't wear a, T-shirt saying, call me Doc or something. But now I've listened to you, I'm more on side than I was before. Okay. Do you have any other hypnotherapy themed T-shirts?
Not at the moment, but I'll work on it for you.
Do you have official merchandising? Do you have a stall outside?
We'll see how this goes.
All right. Well, listen, great to talk to you. Well done already. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's going to be fun. All right. So there you are. I've never come across anybody who's got a phobia who's been to a hypnotherapist and it hasn't worked ever. Everybody I know who've ever consulted a decent hypnotherapist has benefited from that experience. Right. Here's Al Wilson. What's this called, Vass?
No, it's not. Is it?
It's called the snake. That's okay now, isn't it?
Yeah, it sort of is.
Incredible. Which Vassos can now say. He can now say the snake. Those two words, the snake. Or snake. Can you play with hisses yet?
No.
No, can't do that.
Not so happy about that. And I'm definitely not happy about your top tenuous idea.
Okay, well, I said we should do snakes, and Vass said, I'm not ready for that yet, and he really meant it. So he can say the word snake, but he can't talk about snake experiences, your snake experiences via the top tenuous, which I sort of get. So you don't want to go for that because you're not ready for it.
No. So far, by the way, you might have noticed, people have, in the 6 years I've been doing the show, have texted in with top tenuous ideas or anything that involves snakes, and I've just I'm really sorry if you have, because I have just chucked them away.
Has it only been 6 years? Seems longer.
No,
seems longer
does
for
seem
us
longer.
and the listeners. Sorry, listeners. We feel the same way. 7 to 9. So today's top tenuous will be in
Dunstable.
Because hypnotherapy. I don't know anybody who it's never worked for. I can't believe it's not bigger. People who are scared of flying. If you can afford to go to hypnotherapists, you can get it on the NHS hypnotherapy. I think it would be, if Amazon could package hypnotherapy and deliver it to your door, it would be their biggest seller.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Right, coming up, more of your phobias. Today's top tenuous, not about snakes yet, but if the whole hypnotherapy thing is successful next week, we will do snakes as a top tenuous, because Vassos will hopefully by then be able to read out that top tenuous. Past 9, so more fears here. Chris, I have a phobia of wooden... Sorry, my husband has a phobia of wooden sticks. He cannot stand them. Whether ice lolly sticks or those ones you stir coffee with, literally shudders at the thought. Could potentially vomit. Can't even look at them. The big weirdo. Jane, rather unsympathetically at the end. It was going so well,
It really was, Jane.
And this is the big weirdo, exclamation mark. Jane near Whitby. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Because I have a phobia of holes in socks. I can't stand them. If I discover even the start of one halfway through a day, I have to take my socks off and throw them away. I have no clue why or where this phobia has come from and can't find a similar issue online, says Paul. Chris, I'm terrified of paper doilies. I cannot eat a cake that's on a paper doily, and just looking at them makes my heart race, says Ellie in London. I sort of get that one, don't you?
Yeah.
What about one on from that? One on from the paper doily. The actual, the cotton doily, the washable cotton doily.
The cotton doily.
No, thank you. No, thank you. See, snakes, mate. Piece of cake compared to these lot.